clarify some of the exchanges that happened recently. First and foremost, there was kind of an insinuation that after confirming that solar and renewable energies receive public subsidy, there was a little bit in the exchange that folks may have insinuated or taken from it that fossil fuels do not receive public subsidy. That's not what you're saying, right? Correct, Mr. Secretary?
Nowhere near of the same magnitude. And there's controversy about how to count them. I would say no meaningful subsidies today for oil and gas in the United States.
Okay, I think you're right in that there's a disagreement in that. Because I think what most people consider a subsidy is public use, public resources going to an industry or corporation. And in 2022 alone, we're looking at $10 to $52 billion in direct subsidies, anywhere between, again, depending on how you count it, $1.5 to $7 trillion globally in the fossil fuel industry receiving subsidy, in addition to tax breaks, in addition to also public lands. I was the chair of the Energy and Mineral, ranking member of the chair in Energy Mineral Resources Subcommittee on Natural Resource, and public lands alone that we had leased for pennies on the dollar for oil companies to drill on. I think those would be considered subsidies, but there may be a difference of opinion there. Additionally, the other thing that I wanted to clear up as well is this exchange previously on the immigrant workforce for many of the oil fields and the industry. You stated that there's a difference between quote-unquote illegal immigration and legal immigration, but what is your stance on the ending of legal status for immigrants in the United States who are here documented?
The devil's in the details, so I don't know enough about the issue you're raising to give a comment. I'm very passionate about immigration and all that, but I'm not sure exactly the question you're asking.
So there are hundreds of thousands of legally documented immigrants here, many that work in the energy sector that are here under different kinds of authorizations, one being temporary protected status that Mr. VC had raised. And the administration is ending this status that provides a path to work permits, legal work permits, for huge sectors of the workforce in the United States. Are you supportive of ending these work authorizations?
Again, I'm not actively working on immigration policy and all that. I don't think I have a thoughtful response to that.
Understood. I'll get back to my question line. In a February interview with Bloomberg, when asked what oil prices you are targeting as secretary, you stated, lower is better. And I take it you stand by that statement, correct?
Yes, in general, lower is better because there's far more consumers than producers.
Mm-hmm. And even if that means oil company stock prices falling?
I don't think American consumers should worry about the stock prices of oil and gas companies. You do need a healthy sector to actually produce, but that's what a market mechanism does. The cure for high prices is high prices, and the cure for low prices is low prices.
And I think we're in agreement there. Given your statement on aiming for lower oil prices, what are your stances on the president's tariffs that are increasing costs of production?
There's lots of impacts, and there's lots of things that impact the cost of production. Most of what the president is doing is going to meaningfully lower the cost of production. But his agenda to try to reshore heavy industry manufacturing in the United States, I think it's good for the country in the long run.
Thank you. I'd like to reclaim my time. There are several, there's an industry-wide consensus here. There has also been a survey in March of oil and gas companies by the Dallas Fed, which were littered about complaints around uncertainty. Companies in this survey commented on the rising costs for materials like steel, which was subject to a 25% tariff at the time and is now subject to a 50% tariff as of June 4th. Steel is obviously a very important input in oil and gas production and energy production writ large. Mr. Chair, I would like to seek unanimous consent to enter these complaints into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. Secretary Wright, how does the president's tariffs plan and policy, particularly around steel, align with lowering costs for reducing uncertainty?
Well, if I could interject, the lady's time has expired. If you could answer that in writing, it'd be appreciated.
Thank you.